Okay, so this is a story about how I knew that my soulmate will be a man. So back when I was 18, when I had a girlfriend, yes, I did have a fucking girlfriend. Point to me to any queer man who didn't have a fucking beard at some point in their lives. But also, I mean, I mean, come on, did I go on? For safety purposes, I'm going to omit their names because I don't want you people to start going and digging in your detective works and looking for them all over fucking social media. Because again, they have their fucking private lives, and I'd love to keep that as it is for them. But a few people who know me would probably know them. But just so I was 17, 16 at that time. I was in high school. And I had this friend whom we used to go home with every single day. And this friend was pretty beautiful, right? But I never looked at her that way. One of the things that I really admired about her was that she was just focused. Whatever she put her mind to, she did it. She never fucking like changed anything to try and, accommodate other people's versions of her to affect her. But yeah, I had this friend and we used to go home with her together and we were pretty much like brother and sister. But pressures of teenage boys always looking at women and objectifying them. Oh my god, your friend has a big ass. Why don't you fucking ask her out? Why don't you just fucking talk to her? How the hell would you go home with somebody who has such a big ass and not tap it? And I used to find that a little bit fucking toxic. But at that time I was very fucking soft spoken and I didn't like speaking my mind out. So I just kind of internalized all that shit. But the pressures got to me and I used to feel like, oh, the sour. I will go ask this girl out. So I approach her and I'm like, hi, I don't know how to say this, but I really like you and I'd really, appreciate it if you would be my girl. She deadass looked at me, held my hands, leaned forward and told me, Moses, I only love you as a brother. Those are the sweetest words a gay man could ever hear from a woman. So I take on the rejection pretty well. And, I don't want to ruin something that's already good in my life just because I want to conform to the toxic male peer pressure. So at this point, I'm at home and I'm hanging out with my neighbor who happens to be her friend as well. And we're just having a good time. We're just enjoying, talking about, life. And I can't even remember what we were talking about. But yeah, we were just having a chat and we're enjoying each other's company. As she was about to leave, she realized that she has forgotten something. And, she's like, hi, I've forgotten something. And I'm like, oh, what is it? And then she leans forward and kisses me. Now, at this point, I am a fucking gay man. I can't pick on fucking, small cues if women like me or not, if men like me or not. Like, I am so fucking oblivious. All I can do is just internalize my, crushes and just forget about them and, be delusional in my own mind, building pictures and how our marriages could be like. But this one caught me off guard because I honestly, I mean, I was completely fucking unaware of it. And I think she knew that. So she left and went downstairs and I'm there like a fucking fool and I'm like, man, if I just let her go down there and I never say anything, I feel like a pussy, right? So I follow her downstairs. I go knock at their place, and I'm like, okay, I didn't know that you felt that way about me. And she was like, yeah, I noticed. So I realized that you're never gonna make a move, so I should make a move. At that point, I'm like, you know what? I think this is God's way. At that time, I was still thinking that God, Jehovah, was bringing her into my life to, fix me. And I was like, I think this is God's way of fixing me so that I can be straight. So I leaned forward and I made out with her, and we made out for like such a long time. And yeah, of course, the little John was still working, okay? It doesn't fucking mean that it doesn't work. He was working, and I was excited because at that point I pinned everything on her. I was already delusional again because I'm like, this is the girl I'll marry. This is the girl I'll spend the rest of my life with because this is the girl who has cured my homosexuality away. So we see each other for about a year. At this time, I'm well into my fourth form and, I'm about to finish my high school education and do my final exam. And it was difficult and challenging because I was in a day school and she was in a boarding school, which was kind of, because that meant I only get to see her during, half term and end of the term when they come home for the holidays. But I was really very much focused, and I never wanted to even associate myself with men. I was doing my best to stay away from male con. And I mean, like, I was living la vida loca, I was like, yes, I am not gay anymore. I am fucking straight. So at that time, I'm heading towards my final examinations. And at that time, we are stressed out because our school is handing out suspension and expulsions left, right, center like they're fucking Oprah. You get a suspension, you get a suspension, you get a suspension. Every fucking body gets a fucking suspension. And it was for the most minute details, such as, I don't know, calling a fucking teacher a bitch because she's being a fucking bitch. And, being caught with cannabis in school because we needed a means of catharsis for all the fucking stress that we had to endure. We weren't even fucking prepared for that examination. They wanted us to fail, but in the end, right, we passed and we told them you can swivel on it. I digress. Back to the story. So at that time, I receive, a success letter, and it's big. And at that time, since we're in day school, not many of us received success letters via mail because most of us would get success letters brought to us in person. But in case our families or friends were, further than, or rather could not give it to us in person, they were sending it via mail. So I received this fucking big ass success letter, and it was glittered. It was, it had all these love hearts, and it was beautiful. I mean, it was amazing. And it was, of course, from her. And she's wishing me success in my fucking birthday. And I'm feeling amazing because now I'm getting the attention of these guys around me. They're like, Moses has a fucking girlfriend. I'm like, yeah, man. You thought I was fucking queer? Nah. I'm straight. I'm a straight man. What the fuck? So fast forward, I've done my last examination and I'm excited to go see her because at that time, when we were doing our examination, the rest of the schools and other students were back home. So I go home and I knock at her door and I'm like, ooh, I'm excited to see you. I want to do things to you because I've missed you. So I pass by her place and I knock at the door and her sister opens the door and she tells me their dad is home and they'll just come up and see me. And I'm like, girl, you and your dad, we are tight. I mean, I got along with their parents because they were my parents' friends. So I didn't see the issue, but I was like, okay, it's fine. You guys will come and find me upstairs. I fall asleep on the couch and I wake up at 3 a.m. I'm like, these people never came. I look at my phone and I get a text message from her and it's like, this is not going to work. At that point, I am tensed out because I'm like, what the fuck? Wait, what does she mean that it's not going to work? I mean, all my hopes and fears were pinned on her. What the fuck does she mean that it's not going to work? I know it was not fair, but I was very much scared. So I text her, I'm like, yo, please, can we talk tomorrow? Because I need you to clarify something. I don't understand why you're breaking up with me via text when I live a few flights upstairs. Next day she comes over. We have a talk. And she utters the most soul-piercing words that I've ever heard come from a woman. And that is, I feel like you treat me like one of your guy friends. I was like, but have you seen the way I've treated my guy friends? I don't treat them the way I treat you. But it made sense because I couldn't provide her with what she wanted and she couldn't provide me with what I wanted because we both wanted the same thing from a man. So a few months later, I'm depressed because she fucking dumped me. She's happy because she's out there dating someone new. And I run into her and she's like, hi, I just wanted to let you know that I'm seeing someone. And it fucking broke me. It did. I was pissed. I was like, who the fuck is this you're seeing? I want to see who this guy is. So as we're talking, a car pulls up at the driveway, or rather on the driveway. And some guy gets out and he has a fucking beard. And at that time, I'm struggling with that one strand of beard. You know the way you have that one strand of beard? So he comes over, hugs her, and he shakes my hand and he's like, hi, how are you doing? And his grip was so firm. And I dead as almost told her, Can he date me too?